Welcome back, internet friends. I hope you're doing well at this time. This has certainly been a week that has changed the world. It's a week that we'll definitely remember. I'm going to talk today with you about the illness that is spreading around the world. I can't name it because this will hurt my channel, so I'm going to call it the CERVEZA illness. I also want to talk about the economic ramifications, what's going on here in Southern California and around the country, and just even how it's impacted me personally. I'm going to be making these little updates on the condition and the illness every few days now, just because it's a subject that I've wanted to avoid because it's a negative and everyone's talking about it, but it's very important that you guys are staying safe and taking this seriously. And it's hard to not talk about it now. It's pervading everyone's life one way or another. So let's give some quick stats about the CERVEZA illness. As of today, March 13th, 2020, there's about 1,400 cases in the United States. 2 days ago, we had the first death in Los Angeles, a 60-year-old woman. And apparently there's a few cases today in Manhattan Beach being discovered. There's a few people in like the wealthy Calabasas area. I've been there. It's actually a beautiful neighborhood on the coast, and there's these gorgeous houses, but it is sort of a bubble of like extremely wealthy people in that neighborhood. These are some of the global numbers. You can see the different countries. Italy, Iran, obviously being very negatively affected. Italy's had to quarantine the whole country, and Iran has lost several of its parliament members, and their government is infected. They're supposedly digging mass graves in Iran. These numbers are most likely 10 to 20 times higher than the actual number being reported because of community spread and certain countries, and not everyone is getting tested. So there's a large amount of people who haven't been tested, and this number of cases is much smaller because we still need to test more people. Now, this CERVEZA illness is a new strain of something we've already encountered in the world called the SARS respiratory condition. Sorry, I have to be careful with my words. I'm trying not to get my channel hurt. There are apparently now 2 strains. The condition is mutated, so there is an L type and an S type. One of them is much more contagious but less severe, and the other one is still seriously contagious, but it is not quite as severe. So we've already seen one mutation. The good news about this illness is that children seem to be mostly asymptomatic. And that is a relief, because I'm sure if you have children out there, the last thing you want to think about is your baby's getting ill and something happening to them. But the children can still be carriers, even though they mostly show minimal symptoms. They can still spread the illness to other people and elderly people. Like someone said, a child can bring it home and hug grandma, and then it's a serious problem. I want to be clear that while most children are asymptomatic, it is still important that children do not become infected, because some children will still show symptoms like high fever and dry cough, which may eventually lead to pneumonia and permanent lung damage. Children who have pre-existing conditions are more vulnerable. There's a child who is under 9 years old in Los Angeles currently in fair condition being treated for the illness. The most affected people to be concerned are people in their 60s and above, people with pre-existing conditions. I have pre-diabetes. I have been managing diabetes with diet over the last few months, but I have some serious blood sugar problems. So people with diabetes have a 7% chance, almost double the death rate. They're saying right now, certain areas, the death rate is about 3.5. Some areas it is lower, some areas it is higher. But like I said, statistics are kind of hard to even know what is concrete right now, because numbers are changing every single day. And in some areas, cases are spreading really fast. Like in Italy, they've had to go on full country quarantine lockdown. 60 million people. They had to do this because it's been shown the condition is spreading at an exponential rate, and they have a overwhelming of their medical system. Their hospital beds are full. They have a lot of sick people, and they're trying to do whatever they can to stop this from spreading to the rest of the world. While I said seniors need to be most concerned, all of us should do what we can to take care of our health, and especially our lungs. I've been taking vitamin C, vitamin D, keep warm because it's raining outside in Southern California this weekend. Try to always keep your immune system up however you can. Don't consume tons of alcohol. Get plenty of sleep. Take your vitamins. Dress warm outside if it's raining and cold. Keep yourself strong, because there are people in their 40s who are dying. There's a famous young doctor from China. He died of it. There's an x-ray I'll show you here. This was something that Tim Pool put on his podcast, but these are the x-rays showing permanent lung damage to the 40-something-year-old man who died. There is a chance, if you have a very difficult time with it, that you could end up having severe lung damage from your body's inflammatory response and trying to fight the condition. From what I've heard, people cough so hard that they, hurt their back and pull muscles, and it's this horrible dry cough. I'm not trying to scare you guys, but I love you if you watch this video and you're seeing me through the screen. Even if you've put thumbs down on my videos and you hate them, I still love you and I want you to do okay. So I just want you to be aware that it's not just the common flu. A lot of people have their head in the sand and they'll send messages saying, oh, the common flu kills so many people. This is about 70 times more fatal than the common flu, and it's much more contagious. We do need to take it seriously. That means it's important that you wash your hands multiple times a day. Try to avoid touching your face. And I try to avoid touching surfaces. Like I'll keep napkins in my pocket to open a door handle with when I'm out at work. You don't personally have to wear a mask. Most people didn't buy masks like I did a few weeks ago. I would get up at 5:30 in the morning, go to the lumber mill, and as soon as the masks hit the shelf, I would buy several. I do wear an N95 mask to work. I end up in close quarters with people sometimes in an elevator. I'm delivering and I have no choice, but I get in an elevator and other people get in with me. And I've had people coughing in elevators. Take every precaution you can, In an elevator, I hit the button with my elbows. Take it seriously. Whenever I enter the house, I kick off my shoes. I'll wash my hands is the first thing I do when I enter the house, always. Very frequently wiping my doorknobs off with alcohol wipes or alcohol spray, and the things you touch a lot like light switches. Just be sort of a germaphobe. It may save your life because this virus does stay on surfaces for a long time. It can stay on metal, plastic, anything for days or hours. So somebody could cough or put it on their hands or even speak and the droplets are all over them and they touch a door handle and then you get sick from touching that door handle. So you want to always wash your hands and try not to touch things that people touch. Another thing you might not even realize, don't use any soda fountains. Any public drink dispensing, like public water fountains, people go right up to the soda machine and they dispense their drinks, but they can be talking and they can be breathing, expelling air droplets all over those drink dispensers. So don't use public drinking things. That's another thing to note about the condition is that apparently it has like a meter radius around you. You have 6 feet. If anyone is within 6 feet of you and they just as much talk loudly or talk in your direction, you can breathe the tiniest of those droplets containing the condition and you can become ill. So I like to keep a mask to help filter any droplets that may be in the 6-foot radius of someone around me. The masks do not guarantee you won't get anything, but I think ignoring them is stupid, and there's a good reason the news has said don't go get masks because they need to save them for medical professionals and other people. Now they're talking about how they're going to take masks from lumber mills and send them to medical teams that need them. So my little lumber mill mask depot is probably gone now as well. So I've talked enough about the condition itself. You should know these basic things about it. Now I want to tell you how it's impacted my life and all of yours and the economy in the last week. It's just changed the world for most of us. Yesterday was the biggest stock market crash in, I think, history. It was the biggest in my life. I'd never seen anything like that. I'd witnessed a flash crash before of 1,000 points, but yesterday, March 12th, Thursday, the stock market fell 2,300 points. 9.99%. The trigger was hit so that the market had to be frozen, and this also happened earlier in the week. We had a 2,000 point drop, I think Monday, where the trading was halted because it fell more than 7%. So we've had cat bounces in the middle of these drops. Today I think is a little bit of a cat bounce, where after a 2,000 point drop, we'll have 3 or 4, 5, 700 point gain. So the stock market is getting crushed. Now, things were already overvalued. We'd been on an 11-year rally with the stock market. This is the longest expansion in history. And things were so overvalued. I mean, this was like roaring 20s hype, the roaring teens. We just had companies buying back their own stock and the prices have been driven by low interest rates. So this bubble is just ready to burst, but the illness is kind of the pinprick that's popping it, and it's going to pop so hard because we are not ready for this. I live here in Southern California, and we are close to the Long Beach ports, and about half of the stuff that is imported to America from China and Asia comes from those ports, and those ports are seeing hardly any activity. It's like a quarter of what used to come in. And I know people personally who have family working there at the docks, and they're out of work. They've been out of work for several weeks. So they were hit pretty hard first. As you know, all sporting events have been canceled. Yesterday I was at a pickup for one of my deliveries at a sports bar, and every TV in the sports bar is showing pictures and videos of empty stadiums and like sad fans, because the sports bars are full of TVs that normally show UFC fights and baseball, NHL, and basketball games, and every sporting event is canceled, so there's nothing to put on the TV. The sporting channels are showing, they don't have anything to show on the network without sports. So sports have been canceled. Personally, this has screwed my family so hard because my family, my uncle, dad, and stepmom all spend thousands of dollars for a vendor booth at the Houston Rodeo and Livestock Show, which Wednesday was canceled because of the condition. And basically there's a couple hundred or even 1,000 vendors like my pops and uncle who borrowed money to get products to sell and pay their fines with the rodeo to get their space, and they only had a couple days to sell their stuff, and the rodeo had terrible attendance anyway because people are scared. But then they shut the rodeo down like 2 weeks early. My family's right now packing up their things and coming home, taking one of the worst losses in their life. And they also have their entire livelihood. The trade show industry is done for the summer. They're not doing anything. In my family's case, it's going to cripple us and it's going to cripple them. I'm independent, but they have 4 little kids, my younger brothers. So my heart is concerned about that side of the family with this happening. The Houston Livestock Show going down is costing Houston a lot of money and other families. Now, people are going to be losing their job because of this, or at least they're going to be postponed for a little while. Some companies are trying to come out with stuff to take care of their employees, but let's face it, small businesses like my dad's, they're getting crushed. I personally work at music festivals. You've seen some of my performing videos. Every music festival is canceled, basically. I already can predict my favorite one that I've worked at for 4 or 5 years, EDC Las Vegas, one of the best weekends of my life every year. I'm pretty sure it's going to be canceled. Beyond Wonderland was just canceled or postponed, and that was supposed to happen this month. My sister and other friends of mine were going to be working there. I just got a message today about a performance I was booking for the summer. They wanted to have me and another dancer come do a private custom LED show with these expensive LEDs that I haven't paid back yet. And the client had to cancel on us. Totally fine. It's not her fault, but that's hundreds of dollars out of my hands over this. And it just changes our whole lifestyle for the next year. I have been used to having this amazing summer of festivals. I think a lot of us, when we look back at the roaring teens, we'll call them, we're going to look at music festivals and be like, oh my God, people used to just spend $1,000 for a weekend and go rage and just party under these massive stages, and it's going to be seen as the lavishness, of the 20s. I don't almost see another way to describe it besides music festivals in the mid-20 teens. In 2016, 2015, it was so fun, and times have been really good. If you're smart with your money, times have been very good. People have made so much in the stock market. There's been bubbles everywhere. We had crypto and Bitcoin, which is also crashing at the same time as the stock market. It was under $7,000, and Litecoin is under $40, which is, I really get interested in buying it when it crashes because I like Litecoin. It made me a lot of money 2 years ago. I ended up trading some of that for gold, but it's hitting the markets. It's hitting jobs. My sister's a teacher, and I have a good feeling that she's not going to be teaching as much soon. My friend came over 2 nights ago and was like, hey, I had a midterm and it got canceled. Schools are closed, and you can imagine all the teachers, all these families that are going to lose their job and be affected by this condition. If the things don't get better, the impact is going to be so hard on all these families that they're probably going to have to sell their homes, or they're not going to be able to pay their rents, which is going to cause people to move to cheaper areas. I multiply my family's situation times the whole country, and I see a major downfall in the housing market because people won't be able to pay their mortgages. I have noticed around here the Walmarts are getting kind of slim. Certain things that if you want toilet paper, it's gone pretty quick. Same thing with water bottles. For some reason, people are buying like the little water bottles instead of storing large amounts of water. But certain Walmarts are getting kind of slim pickings, and I've been stocking up. I have this pantry of food and supplies and tons of water. Being a Burning Man enthusiast and going to 3 Burning Mans, you're kind of prepared for disaster already. I had masks from other years of Burning Man. I have canned food. I have a bug out vehicle, my awesome conversion van, if I need to leave or before the quarantine sets in. But I'm somewhat prepared. I want you guys to be as well. Sorry this video has gone on so long. I want to thank you so much for watching this important information. I'll come up with another episode soon as things progress, telling you what's going on here in Southern California. If you liked this video and you found it informative or helpful, please go ahead, smash the like button. Feel free to subscribe. I'm going to be making videos every week. Feel free to share this with your friend. If they don't know what's up, please, this is a little way of telling them. Good luck to you out there. Wash your hands. I will see you next time. Take care and just have a wonderful day.